We're at the Community Recycling Centre. Today we had an open day for National Recycling Week. The theme of the week is waste isn't waste until it's wasted. So this is where all your recycling and problem waste get disposed of, so it's all free of charge. That's your chemicals, your paints, household batteries, gas bottles, your light globes, e-waste. So it's really about all the materials that can be diverted from going to landfill, getting it out of the way before you get to the weighbridge.
So we've also got your ink cartridges, smoke detectors. Mobile phones are a big one. A lot of people do just pop them in their red bin, but that can actually be really hazardous to do so because of their batteries. So if you put a battery into landfill, there's a high chance that it's going to actually start a fire. And so we don't want them going into your red bin. We are what's called a bulk collection point. So the machines that you can see in here, they're called an automated depot. You can bring in your mix of glass, your mix of plastic. These machines are going to sort it out for you.
So the Material Recycling Facility, or MRF for short, that's where all your yellow bin recyclables go. What we're trying to do is educate people on where your material ends up and what we do with it. We recycle all plastics 1 to 7, steel cans and aluminium cans. So it's about people being able to see, one, that some of the contamination that's there and the issues that the staff have to deal with at the site, and two, so that people get an understanding that the recyclables do get sorted and they do get taken away to be reprocessed and turned into new products. So there is a positive environmental outcome by using your yellow bins appropriately.
So this is called our push pit. So that's where you guys are going to put all of your general waste. And once the pit has got enough waste in it to be pushed down, you'll see the loader at the end there. It pushes it all the way down into what we call the holding pit. So we can get potentially up to 15 bins taken from this facility in a single week.
We have staff that go through and pick any other recyclable materials out so that we get maximum diversion from the waste stream before it goes to landfill.
One of the other big things that we're focusing on recycling as well is mattress foam. If we put that into landfill, no matter how far down we put that material, it's always going to come back up to the surface because it cannot be compacted down. So you'll see at the moment the guys have been putting their foam in here from the mattresses that we've stripped. This big plate here just presses and presses and presses, and then we're able to tie it off with twine. And from there it gets collected and goes to a company called Dunlop, who repurpose it for a number of things. So this is a bale of mattress foam. So this weighs anywhere between 120 to 150 kilos. This is the processed expanded polystyrene, the stuff that you guys get within like your TV boxes and stuff. That's what this then gets produced down into. It's very solid, it's very much like a tile. So, and this is then what gets sent over to Malaysia to be repurposed.
I do community workshops at events like this, such as the Reimagine Waste event here at the Tuncurry Tip, to teach people how to use their food scraps at home and turn that into compost and soil through worm farming and composting. Councils like Mid Coast are going to have to take food scraps from the household and process it on-site at waste management facilities such as this by 2030. There'll be a compost process turned into soil, but in the meantime we're wanting householders and consumers to be also processing their food scraps instead of putting it in the red bin where currently it comes to landfill and sits at landfill.
The reuse shops, also known as the Reviver, they're an important piece to the puzzle. Any items that come through that you may have finished with it and don't need it anymore, but it could be good for someone else, and that goes through the Reviver where it's resold and they get a new life with someone else. They may be used for what the original purpose was, or they may get turned into a new project.
That's a global epidemic, waste, isn't it? So every chance we get to divert an item from the waste stream is extremely important. Most people come in, they do a donation, and then they'll go, I'm going to come in and have a look around, and then they'll see something they want, or they'll have an idea for their own reuse project at home. It is a treasure hunt, and a lot of the customers just love it.
The great thing about the Reviver is they're run by a national social enterprise, Resource Recovery Australia, and their slogan is waste to wages, which means all the material that goes back through there creates economic activity within the Mid-Coast region. Mid-Coast Council and the Mid-Coast community, we're committed to reducing waste to landfill by 70% by 2030. We see there's a social responsibility to use our resources more wisely, stop relying on natural resources being excavated out of the ground and reusing the materials that are within the economy, which will create a better future for our kids and better future for future generations.